Good morning, everyone. How are you? Bright and early for me today. Hello, Whispering Winds, NJs. Thank you for being here to mod. I appreciate it. YouTuber, thank you for being here to mod as well. Yeah, really interesting. Hi, Panda Bear's mom, Peggy, Hawk, family members, Barb Balua, Philip Pruitt, welcome. Cali Girl 818, Cherokee 1971. Hi, Zena. You don't chat much by the time you get one sentence done, chat is over. Cute. Welcome in, everyone. Hi, Heather. Justice for Kylo, good to see you again. Hi, Janet Smith, good to see you again. Holiday is over. Merry Christmas to all. I hope you had a wonderful day. Back at you, Kimberly Myers. Becky Louds, hello, hello. We're on early this morning. I was doing a lot. Hi, Guidance. Hi, Kim McDo. Oh, it's going fast now. I have new socks on. Good to see you. How are you? Always good to see you. Connie Etter, more candy. Rusty Pipes, the other Sharon, Michelle, Smiley's Stories World. Hello. I am here early today. Something dawned on me. Thank you for being here, Smiley. Something dawned on me as I was listening last night with you all, some of you all, to a piece of the elevated truth in it. I don't know if I hadn't listened to the whole thing, but I picked up something that was said, and it really makes sense that we're kind of a path I've started going down a little bit. One I had been going down, and now one I'm considering again. Okay. So I'm going to play Elevated Truth for you, just a few minutes of it. And it is interesting because what I caught is, well, I'll play it for you. Listen very carefully. Good morning, everyone. We're going to probably jump right into it this morning. And hi, Nicey Marie. Good to see all of you. But we're going to go ahead and listen to this because it was very surprising to me what Elevated Truth said about decisions being made. Okay, and if that's the case, it's very interesting, especially in light of the message that X put out yesterday, or At Night put out yesterday, regarding CP helping Sebastian find his way home, paraphrasing. So we're going to kind of get into that and then talk about, what if? What if? Thank you all for being here. Hi, keep up the chatter, Little Red. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you being here. I know it's earlier than I normally come on, but I wanted to discuss this because it was in my head, in my mind. So we're going to go ahead and begin by listening to CP on the panel of Elevated Truth, who did a fabulous job getting information out that was, I think, needed to get out. The FBI does know about it, yes. So let's go ahead and listen to it. This is a piece that we have not listened to together yet. I think we listened to it a little bit last night, but it's important. I think it's a huge clue. I almost think it tells, in my opinion, what happened. And I want your opinion. Hi, Star Child. Hi, Janet Smith. I'm going to go ahead and mute, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Elevated Truth. Let me give their credit up there to Elevated Truth. That interview is just like the gift that keeps on giving. The more you listen to it, the more you pick up, right? Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, hi, the other Sharon. Yes, we're going to listen to it. I caught it. I hadn't caught it before. Hi, Dreamer G. So glad you could stop in for as long as you can. Thank you. Hello, Tracy Corkin to England. Following the story from the start. Sweet Sebastian will be found soon. I think so. I think they're getting closer. I think they're getting closer. So it's really interesting. Let's go ahead and listen to this.
So we'll address that real quick. It's real simple. What goes on in our family is not the public's business. We're not going to sit here, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you what in the world goes on or what happened in the past or any of that nature. That is not the public's business. I'm not going to sit up here and do what Seth did. That's not happening.
So wait.
I don't care if it offends or hurts somebody's feelings. That God forbid the parent between Seth and I'm not going to sit here and bash Seth. I'm not going to sit here and put out personal information. That's nobody's business. How many people out there in all of these things have all said the same thing, that it should have never happened? And it's correct. It shouldn't have.
I agree.
It doesn't do anything.
Well, and comparing what Seth goes through, there's a shit ton more people that are accusing
behind the scenes and personal. For sure.
But when your chat and my phone blows up with the perception of what you were, I'm not saying you're directly insinuating it, but even the fact of the way it came out was enough that my phone blew up.
Listen, here's the thing.
And that's a serious issue, man.
The serious issue is that Sebastian's missing. That's the serious issue. Your phone blowing up doesn't
that's
mean
the
a damn.
top priority. That's not
honestly, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but for people to be hitting your phone up, that tells me there's a lot of people on YouTube that have your fucking phone number.
No, just a lot of people have Facebook Messenger.
Well, maybe that, but my point is, I'm not responsible for the chat. Okay, I haven't even been paying attention to the chat because they've been saying just as much nasty shit about me in my chat. Okay, I'm talking to you. I've been talking to you through my message, through my lives. I've been talking to Katie through my lives. I've done it behind the scenes and personal. There is absolutely nothing, and Chris, you've got to be able to agree with me on this. There's nothing that I've said up here on this panel that you and I haven't talked about before.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
So I'm not up here. Listen, I'm not up here to smear you or smear Katie or smear Seth. Okay, that's not my goal.
Smear. Listen, it's not a smear. It's the fact of an insinuation or the way that people perceive it. And what do? They're going to turn around and they're going to blow up the phone lines, the tip lines, and push this narrative that is so false. That's what they're going to do.
But hasn't that been the same thing, the little bit of information that you and Katie have put out to creators done to Seth?
Actually, no, we don't put out false information about Seth.
I didn't say false, just information in general.
I mean, to be fair, if it's information that should be known about Seth, isn't that worth it?
Why doesn't that work the same? Why doesn't that work the same way for Chris and Katie, though?
Well, if it's actual factual information, sure, put it out and call law enforcement. Go for it.
I mean, listen, you know just as well as I know.
This ain't about.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to just say good morning to those of you coming in. Thank you for being here. So before he gets into what he's going to say, that is why we're here, which really triggered me thinking. So I find it interesting that Elevated Truth, who's doing a great job with this interview, says he clarifies and makes sure that he says, Chris, now you all have to agree, I haven't said anything on this panel we haven't discussed before, you and me and Katie. Okay. And what it's a very weird statement that CP makes, in my opinion, where he says, well, something about if it's factual, yeah, go ahead, call LE. Now, why would you think if someone has something to say factual, it would lead to a phone call to LE? See what I'm saying? And then he says, go for it. So I found that really interesting. Call LE, especially since Elevated Truth has admitted he knows some things. So we're going to go ahead and keep going. I just wanted to touch base with those. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.
About tit for tat of what he did in the past, what she's done in the past, what I've done in the past. Who cares? This
But
ain't about our
apparently,
characters. This is about finding Sebastian.
but I think
And if we go
unfortunately it has
tit
a
for
lot.
tat about, well, Seth did this, Katie said that, I did this, and blah, blah, blah. Once again, it doesn't find Sebastian.
But who put that information out there for everybody to know? If it doesn't matter, why was it ever put out there in the first place?
Well, how many times have you asked us about something about Seth and we've never told you?
Rarely.
Same concept.
Rarely.
Nope.
I mean,
Same
honestly,
concept.
listen, here's the thing. It's not about me wanting you to be bashed, Katie to be bashed, or Seth. I don't want any of the parents to be bashed. But I also,
Then quit with crap.
No, don't tell me what to do with my channel because I'm not doing any crap. I'm simply bringing up conversation, Chris, the same conversations that I've had with you personally. I'm not talking about anything that I haven't talked to you and Katie about. So to assume that I'm coming on here and making shit up or pushing a narrative is bullshit, because I'm not. And you just said yourself, everything I've said, I've spoke to you about already. So to insinuate that I'm putting out some type of narrative that is you don't know about or you don't whatever, that's not the case. My questions have come up based on the conversations that we've had, right? And at the end of the day, I will stand on this again. And I won't go into it any further out of respect. I have been very careful about speaking on Sebastian at all and why there were decisions being made, because I think it is extremely important to protect a child, right? I also think that if the general public knew some of the things, they would understand why you and Katie and Seth were making the decisions you were making or attempting to make. Would you agree?
I'm not going to sit here and go over that.
I respect that.
What I will agree with is simply this. Having a conversation is new. They're going to turn around and they're going to.
Here's the thing. It's not about me wanting you to be bashed, Katie to be bashed, or Seth. I don't want any of the parents to be bashed. But I also,
then quit with crap.
No, don't tell me what to do with my channel because I'm not doing any crap. I'm simply bringing up conversation, Chris, the same conversations that I've had with you personally. I'm not talking about anything that I haven't talked to you and Katie about. So to assume that I'm coming on here and making shit up or pushing a narrative is bullshit, because I'm not. And you just said yourself, everything I've said, I've spoke to you about already. So to insinuate that I'm putting out some type of narrative that is you don't know about or you don't whatever, that's not the case. My questions have come up based on the conversations that we've had, right? And at the end of the day, I will stand on this again. And I won't go into it any further out of respect. I have been very careful about speaking on Sebastian at all and why there were decisions being made, because I think it is extremely important to protect a child, right? I also think that if the general public knew some of the things, they would understand why you and Katie and Seth were making the decisions you were making or attempting to make. Would you agree?
I'm not going to sit here and go over that.
I respect that.
What I will.
Okay. Excuse me. So, Elevated Truth says, I've had to be very careful of speaking on Sebastian and why there were decisions that were being made. I believe, in my opinion, they're talking about wanting to send him to a school, okay, which they presented to the father, Seth Rogers. And Seth did research, and we're going to get into all that, okay? And then he said it's extremely important to protect a child, but if the general public knew some things and why you were making some of these decisions. Now he's trying to he includes Seth in that. And they did try to release the email and say that it was Seth who wanted to send him away, but Seth was forwarding an email. They had made a recommendation. They had said to Seth they wanted to send Sebastian to Bledsoe Youth Academy. Seth did his research, found out it was records of abuse, possible deaths, and said no way. And it wasn't a program that it was for troubled kids rather than a program that would suit Sebastian better for his trauma and also some of the, social and maybe behavioral things he was going through, emotional things. And so Seth went to a professional who helped him locate a few possibilities so they would have something to discuss that would be suitable for Sebastian. But what was interesting is as the family discussed it, they decided the blended family couldn't afford this, which makes me wonder how could you afford Bledsoe but not the others? So I'm not sure about that, and we're going to get into that a little bit. But it just makes me Elevated Truth earlier had said, you're hiding things behind closed doors. So I'm wondering, honestly, it makes me wonder because the plan was they were wanting to send him to a school. And then they decided they couldn't afford that. This was like in December. End of January, first few days in February, there's an alleged another CPS call to the house. Allegedly, in my opinion, I'm theorizing, speculating for entertainment purposes only, not to be taken as fact, but my opinion. No one is being accused. This is all alleged. And then, in my opinion, maybe CP was asked. CP was asked that. I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Okay, and so then, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Lost my train of thoughts. Um, but anyway, so it's just interesting to me that the CPS allegedly the end of January, beginning of February, maybe perhaps they said, well, we're investigating, maybe don't come home, allegedly, my opinion. Um, and maybe since they were waiting until May, they needed another alternative. I don't know. I'm speculating. This is one theory, right? One theory. Um, so I don't know. Here, thank you, Christina. If insurance doesn't approve tier 3 treatment schools, it would be $5K a month for day treatment, up to $10K for residential. This is not an opinion. This is part of my career. It's maybe higher now. Wow. Okay. So that would be the cost situation. So I wonder if, hi, wilted lettuce. I wonder if, hi, wilted. I see your message. Well, it could be wilted. It very well could be. None of us know, right? I hope you're wrong. I'm sure you do too. You know? Oh, thank you, Tracy. I love how objective you are and how accepting this channel is of each other's opinions. Thank you. Nicey Marie, I think it's because of the monthly cost was so high. We just learned. But now my question is, would Bledsoe have not been that high? The one they recommended? Right? I don't know. I don't know. But I just feel like if you're telling someone decisions were having to be made, you're telling someone decisions had to be made, you're giving an explanation, and this was after the disappearance, allegedly. And then CP said he was not going to sit there and go over that. So he didn't want to talk about that. And I'm just tossing around a theory. I can be completely wrong. I hope I'm right, because that could mean, good things, being reunited, right? So I don't know. But I do have an idea, because if that was a plan, because of the allegedly a motive, because of the CPS report. Hi, Lisa. Okay. That CP, with his custody coming up, the hearings the next week, or the hearings in March, first week in March, and then not allegedly maybe not being able to go home, has had enough, done. Alleged ultimatums we've heard about. Okay. So yes, Randa, that's a great question. And we'll talk about that. So it just makes me wonder if they allegedly someone somehow found a way to make that possible, and that's why they believe they're going to find him. And some of these places are very not visible. You really have to look for them. Okay. But I want to play an audio for you. And it's just something that kind of backs it up, what I want to say, what I'm trying to say with this plan. And it's actually a little terrifying to me. But it kind of fits in. So let me play something for you. Make sure my volume's up. This is from the program on Netflix. Let me turn my volumes way up.
The program was marketed as help for kids with bad behavior, for lack of a better expression. They sold it as tough love.
Many of these kids are taken in the middle of the night out of their bedrooms by these so-called transport services, where these big guys come all dressed in black with their handcuffs. Your parents are standing there at the doorway watching. It's 3 a.m. You get woken up out of bed. These guys grab you. You don't know what's going on. You're saying help to your parents. They're just standing there. They take you off somewhere. You have no idea where you're going. That alone is going to be where these big guys come all dressed in black with their handcuffs. Your parents are standing there at the doorway watching. It's 3 a.m. You get woken up out of bed. These guys grab you. You don't know what's going on. You're saying help to your parents. They're just standing there. They take you off somewhere. You have no idea where you're going. That alone is going to be a lifelong trauma.
When you first arrive, you're put on run watch, where they take your shoelaces and make you sleep in the hallway. Kids who were placed on suicide watch had to sleep with their arms outstretched, so staff could monitor that they weren't trying to hurt themselves. They would force haircuts on all the male students, or for girls whose hairstyle they didn't like. Every kid was strip searched. Alexa had a male, I believe, do her strip search. Unbelievable. It was this. Like, that's all you got, you know? And
So I wanted to share that with you. Let's all be friendly, please, in the chat. So that was alarming where they say they come in at 3 a.m., take the kids right out of their bed to transporters, right? Could it be just a huge coincidence? Yes. Could it have nothing to do with it? Yes. But to me, it makes me think when we're talking about sending kids to schools, and this is talking about being picked up for a school for schools for troubled teens. So let's all be kind, please. Yes, Cajun Juju. Paris Hilton was sent to one of those places. I heard she tells her story, and it was not a good experience. Not a good experience. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And I wanted to share that with you. It is, there's a 3 a.m. car, a 3:10 a.m. car and flashlights. And this from the program on Netflix, that audio says they pull up at 3 a.m., two guys in black with handcuffs, pull kids right out of bed. And you know what? And then take them off to a so-called school. And it's just, I don't know if they report them as missing. Maybe only if you have a one parent or two or people who don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That was my point, is when they're saying, well, all three of you were trying to make that decision, I was thinking about is no, because what that would be the reason you would report them missing if one of you didn't know, correct? If you both knew, you wouldn't need to report the child Sebastian missing, because you'd say we've both made a decision together, both parents. But if one parent knows and the other doesn't, then you might report him missing. Occam's razor, yep, the easiest. So what do you think, wilted lettuce? I like to see that. What do you think is the easiest, most plausible solution? Answer. Occam's razor. Not many would hide a missing child. Correct. Yes, and they reported him as missing. That's fraud, allegedly. Hold on, sorry. Yes, absolutely. I believe most parents do not report them as missing because they're part of the plan, but exactly, I agree. One parent must not have known, right? Hi, Gypsy. Lots of money for a secret school. Okay. So probably you guys are leaning towards that's not quite so logical. Ma, it could be. Why did they do that if Seth was planning? Because end of January, there was another report, visit to the home. Okay. And maybe allegedly he was not allowed to return, and also allegedly wanted, because of his custody hearing, to say, well, allegedly maybe that's a solution. Sebastian's living at school right now. Who knows? I don't know. But I do remember back in the beginning when they were all back in the beginning, and I don't know which show it was. I remember Seth on the panel, he kind of whispered under his breath to Chris or said, "Did your family put him at you or your family put him in a boot camp or something?" I remember that. Both bio parents are the only ones who can make decisions, correct? No. Yeah, the expense is right? The expense is what makes me wonder. And then at Bledsoe, the kids who were sent there were from out of state who were made wards of the state and then sent out of state. Correct. Okay. Yes. Yes. CP was searching. Wait, it's going fast. I'm sorry. CP was searching where searches have already been done because you could see the markers. Okay. I'm going to share with you again the update from X about addressing this situation. This is asking, pleading to, and alleging that CP knows where or has, let me hide this comment so you all can see. Hold on. Why can't I? Oh, it's a banner. Let me hide the banner. Welcome in, everyone. This is December 26th. Okay, this was yesterday on Christmas. And if you haven't seen this, Gypsy, I know. That makes sense too. That makes sense too. Maybe they just intended it to be, until summer. I don't know. We don't even know who, Well, here, let's read this from X. Great thinking, though. I'm praying it's what happened. Prayer Warrior says, praying this is what happened. In my opinion, the autism diagnosis appears to have come around the time they started sending the emails to Seth. Yeah, I believe they called Seth, Prayer Warrior, and discussed this, and Seth forwarded to them the information he had received about other schools that might be suitable. Let's go ahead and read this. This says, Merry Christmas, everyone. This is from At Night Private Intelligence. Merry Christmas, everyone. May your day be filled with joy, laughter, and the warmth of family. And hey, Mr. CP, how about making this the best Christmas ever by instructing whoever has information about Sebastian's whereabouts to bring him back home? Let's make it a true holiday miracle. Congratulations on the extra cash from not buying gifts for Sebastian this year. Instead of pocketing the savings, maybe we could invest in a heart and actually work to bring him back. But who are we kidding, right? That would require caring. Now listen to this. And if you know where he is, perhaps you could guide him to a nearby store, tell him to go inside, call the police, and then in bold, it's a small act that could make a significant difference. So they say, instruct whoever has information about Sebastian's whereabouts to bring him back home. And if you know where he is, guide him to a nearby store, tell him to go inside and call the police. It's a small act that could make a significant difference. So what do you all think of that? Good morning. Hi, Senior Canine Mom. I saw your most recent video. Very good. Well done. Well done and well said. Sorry. Had you mixed up. Forgive me. Okay. So the searching, what is going on since you're discussing the searching? What is happening is that there were areas that were searched and researched and then recanvassed later on with TBI. That was put out by Dog the Bounty Hunter yesterday. At Night has put out that searching along the roads for a child that allegedly has been hit by a vehicle and left there. At this time, after that whole area has been searched and canvassed, is alluding and trying to turn people's heads, in their opinion, to that Sebastian is no longer with us. And they believe Sebastian is with us. So, and that is, and it's very close. So I guess like I said, that it's confusing to me if you thought he was hit by a car right around there. Why 10 months now searching? I'm confused, unless I'm kind of confused. I am confused. But At Night did say that it's areas that have been searched, that help has been offered to CP and KP for searching by At Night and professionals, and they are going out there, they believe, so people will think that Sebastian is no longer with us. And now they're concerned that they have maybe some details to that effect. I'm sure we'll get some more updates today. So a lot's been going on, but we are still waiting for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers to be found, for those who are responsible, because it is a criminal investigation now, for those who are responsible to be brought in, talked to, charged. Hopefully we can get answers and bring him home soon. I know that they had hoped for Christmas, and now Tony Mathis has said they're hoping that by the 1-year mark they will bring him home. So we don't know the answers to, and law enforcement, allegedly, according to Tony, has a lot of evidence. They're holding it close to their chests. Okay, they're not sharing with the public for reasons, you know. Thank you so much, NJs. That's so sweet of you. Growing the family again. Welcome to the family. If you receive this Crime Time Buzz membership, please thank NJs. NJs, thank you for being so considerate, generous. Welcome to the family. They haven't found him yet. So I don't know. What I'm thinking is that statement is, really odd to me. And CP didn't want to discuss it. If it were something that he was put somewhere, a good investigator doesn't rule any theory out. Thank you again, NJs. That's very kind. Be sure to thank NJs if you received that wonderful gift. Well, and I'm just trying to think. No, I don't think he was hit by a car, Jilly. I do not at all. Because if that were the case, first of all, if I as a parent thought my child walked out of the house and was possibly hit by a vehicle, it would not take me 10 minutes to search that, 10 months, excuse me, to search that area for search around for that. That's where I'm having trouble connecting this, is the time delay. I do not at all think he was hit by a car. At Night said there is no investigative evidence. And you know what? Okay, so they were looking for Sebastian right away, correct? If Sebastian had been hit by a car, there may have been a shoe, allegedly some blood, maybe a piece of material. His glasses would have been thrown. They wouldn't still be on his face. The flashlight that's allegedly in his hand would have been thrown. So there would have been signs of Sebastian, signs of that event, in my opinion. Right? What is everyone's thoughts on the lights? What about whether they had cameras that were taken down? You know, allegedly, I think Jen Coffendaffer, former FBI agent, said it was established there were cameras outside, but whether they were working, I don't know. But that could also be, one theory is that was what was thrown in the trash, maybe, which is why the trash may have been a little bit heavier. Oh, there's a new statement from late last night. Let me check, NJs. Let me check. I thought we read it. Maybe let me read it again, though. Maybe it's a new one, too. We'll see. Let me check. Thank you for letting me know. So this one sounds like they think CP knows his whereabouts, or how to get a hold of whomever knows his whereabouts, allegedly, in their opinion. So let's go back, see if there's another new one. Oh, yes. Yes, we did. We read this one last night, but we will read this again because it's from today. We read it about midnight Eastern time last night. Thank you, NJs, for the reminder. For immediate release, December 26, 2024. Dog the Bounty Hunter and partners address CP's false claims. Sumner County, Tennessee, Dog the Bounty Hunter and his partners are addressing demonstrably false statements made by CP, stepfather of missing Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, during a recent public appearance, and that would be on Elevated Truth. On a YouTube panel discussion, Mr. CP falsely claimed that Dog the Bounty Hunter and his team never attempted to contact him regarding efforts to locate Sebastian. This statement is demonstrably false and contradicted by documented communications. Let me try and make that larger for you, sorry. From Mr. Proudfoot and his wife. Can you see that better? Okay. This statement is demonstrably false and contradicted by documented communications from Mr. Proudfoot and his wife, Katie Proudfoot. Documented communication timeline. At September 8th, 2024, At Night and Dog the Bounty Hunter received a text message from KP's phone, which reads, in quote, any communication to myself or my husband should go through law enforcement. Contact them, not us, end of quote. Based on anomalies in language and tone, it is probable that this message was sent by Mr. CP using KP's phone. September 9th, 2024, the following day, Dogs High Risk Fugitive Task Force received a second formal text message from CP's phone. This message stated, quote, Nick and the Dog Bounty and Dog the Bounty Hunter's High Risk Fugitive Task Force. Consider this your formal and only message from my wife, Katie, and myself. Do not, for any reasons or circumstances, contact us in any way again. If you need to contact us, you need to reach out to Sumner County Sheriff's Office or Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. Thank you for your time and attention to this matter. CP and KP. Both texts demonstrate a deliberate attempt by CP and KP to block direct communication from Dog the Bounty Hunter and his team. Number 3, additional communication. Dog and his partners also attempted contact through group text messages involving KP, SF, and CP. These efforts were met with no cooperation or substantive engagement. Misleading public statements. Despite these documented communications, CP falsely claimed during a YouTube panel that Dog the Bounty Hunter had not reached out to him. This claim is both untrue and misleading, as CP explicitly instructed Dog and his team not to contact him or his wife directly. These false statements harm public trust, distract from the critical search for Sebastian, and misrepresent the facts. Bold. Dog the Bounty Hunter and his partners are urging CP to immediately stop making false and inaccurate public statements. These lies are not only absurd, but also harmful to public trust. In addition, Dog's team is exploring civil legal avenues to address any damage caused by these misrepresentations. Despite these distractions, the focus remains on uncovering the truth and ensuring justice for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, who disappeared on February 25th, 2024 at the age of 15. Sebastian's disappearance has now been classified as a criminal investigation, and the search for answers remains active across multiple states. Dog and his partners remain committed to finding the truth, locating Sebastian, and holding all responsible parties accountable. And they show here that they reached out, and this is them saying to KP, if you fear your husband and want to speak in private away from him, reply with the number 2 and delete the text. Then call this number when you are away from CP. We will be coming Tuesday to speak with him. And then any communication to myself or my husband should go through law enforcement. Contact them, not us. And then it's showing 2 outgoing completed phone calls. And then here is that consider this your formal and only message that we read. Okay. Let's see what else we've got here. So then they also had the cuffs. Which was the update. Let me try and get it right here. Joker and handcuffs. That was on Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2 days ago. Okay. This explains that throughout the months following Sebastian's disappearance, CP and KP have traveled extensively for non-search related purposes. Financial statements, travel itineraries, and multiple eyewitness accounts suggest they embarked on vacations, made large or interesting, in quotes, transactions, and consistently cut ties with personal contacts who questioned their behavior. If you have any information concerning the whereabouts of Sebastian, contact TBI, Sumner County, FBI, your nearest American embassy, consulate, Dog the Bounty Hunter, at night. There is a $250,000 reward. Let's look at that. This is Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And it says a review of surveillance footage of Sebastian Rogers from February 25th in Hendersonville, Tennessee, suggests he may be in danger. Reward is $250,000. Okay. Please, if you know something, come forward. Please, if you know something, come forward. Blackhawk says, about the mattress that was in the garage, where is the bedspread that went to that bed? Was it at the house or missing? Oh, interesting question. Bye, Wilted. Thank you for stopping in. Taking him to extended family that live in the country and paid to do so not as much as a home. Okay, great theory. Yes, we're talking Bledsoe, correct? Yes, there was a child that lost their life. Little Red, we talked about Letitia yesterday. That's Gannon Stokes' stepmother, who is now behind bars. Yeah, interesting in large transactions. So they have financial statements. Interesting in large transactions. And Nicey Marie says, how in the world do they have that kind of money? Big financial purchases, red flag, question mark. How in the world have they have that kind of money? Red flag, question mark, big red flag, red flag. Good job, yes, but red flag. FBI needs to find the money trail, in my opinion. I believe it may be a case of follow the money and much larger than we thought. Anything's possible right now, in my opinion. I am also surprised no one's jumped on the reward. Oh, Sam said, be nice to know if they still buy the same snacks he liked. You know, Michelle Carter will have to look at that. I want to watch it. Said Paris did an interview on her experience. Yes. And Cali Girl says 818. Unfortunately, CP's statement on how Sebastian will never be found just won't get out of my head. Christina Laska says Secret Service and FBI get access to financial records. People who know are usually heavily involved in regards to the reward. Sharon says, day one, CP told Seth that what if it goes south and he's unalived? Now what? The stating hit by a vehicle. What is it with the horrific things being said, in my opinion? I don't know. Makes me wonder. Dog said the family has big money. Interesting. I don't know. Makes me wonder if they're trying to make us just. I don't know if there's death benefits on Sebastian. That's a great question. So good questions coming up. Good questions. Yes. Thank you. What are the chances he would run away without being seen, then hit and run by a car? That's ridiculous. There would be a sign of that. His shoe, his glasses, his flashlight. Oh, no, he didn't have shoes on. Excuse me. His glasses, his flashlight that was in his hand, right? There would be blood, possible material from his clothing. So yes, catfish in this case will be studied for years. That's interesting. Why would a case be studied for years? Let's think critically about this. Why, Carolina, you're so sweet. What about the car that hit him? Most would stop. Most would stop, correct? And there would be remnants, clues, evidence, in my opinion, on the street. We've heard officers say that before, that there's usually shoes, but he didn't have any on, but his glasses would have been thrown off, his flashlight allegedly could have been blood material. And thank you for that donation. That's very sweet, very thoughtful. Very, very thoughtful. Let's see. Sam says, have you seen the Holly and Jessica Chapman case in the UK? No, I have not, but I will look that up. The perpetrators inserted themselves into the searches and gave interviews. Really? I'm going to write that down right now. Holly and Jessica Chapman. Okay, and it looks like I have different people in here today than I did tonight. So I do want to show you. At Night put out a video last night. It includes, of course, we don't know what it means, but the people who are supposed to know what it means knows what it means. And let's see if some of you can figure out what some of these clues mean. Okay. Good morning, Mickey Shell, Laura Y, Irony Rose, His Eyes 7. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. Throw glitter on it. D Green, Bernadette, thank you for coming back. Momming it up. How are you? I need another cup of coffee too, momming it up. Hi, Wise Old Lady. Wise Old Lady says, I watched a documentary about those places that take children in the middle of the night. It was horrifying to me. Was that the program, Wise Old Lady? That's on Netflix? That's what I watched. It was terrifying. I just want him to be found too. I really, really do. I really do. We'll look at Night's video from last night. No, I don't know why I stopped that. Okay, let me get back to it here. Okay, I believe it's this one. And I'm going to have to mute myself so you don't get an echo. This is from yesterday at night. It focuses on how many times that area has been searched, and also on a recanvassing that was done by TBI and a whole bunch of searchers. And they did that because they're searching right in those areas that, they've been searched, and why would you just now search there? I'm so confused about that, but they have been searched. Okay, and we're going to watch this update or this video that was put out. See what clues you think you can get from the little clips. Write them down. Let me know what you pick up, and we'll talk about it. And thank you all for being here. I'm going to mute myself now.
And the day after a news conference where officials did not provide much new information, the Sumner County Sheriff's Department and multiple other agencies are back on the ground today searching for missing 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. Now, it has at this point been 5 weeks since that Sumner teenager was last seen, and still no sign of where he may be.
I don't get it. I mean, right now it looks like there's nobody home. Last night, the place is jumping. Something ain't right. Go check it out.
Now?
No, tomorrow, egghead. Now. Go ahead.
Get the hell out of here.
All right, Johnny. But what about my money?
What money?
AC said you had some dough for me.
Very fair. How much do I owe you?
AC said 10%.
Too bad AC ain't in charge no more.
What do you mean?
He's upstairs taking a bath. He'll call you when he gets out. Hey, I tell you what I'm gonna give you, Snakes. I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead.
All right, Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm going.
1, 2, 10. Keep the change, you filthy animal.
What happened?
I don't know who's in there, but somebody just got blown away.
Huh?
Somebody beat us to the job. They're in there. 2 of them. There was arguing. One of them blew the other one away.
Who?
I don't know. I thought I recognized one of their voices. And I know I heard that name Snakes before.
Snakes? Snakes. I don't know no snakes.
Snakes. Let's get out of here.
Hold it. Let's wait and see who it is. We work this neighborhood too.
Yeah.
Supposing the cops finger us for a job and they start asking us questions about a murder in the area. Wouldn't it be nice to have a face to go with their questions?
That's a good idea.
Of course it's a good idea. Snakes.
He sounded like...
What do we know about today's renewed search efforts? Well, News 2's Adam Mintzer is outside the Sumner County Mobile Command Center with the very latest. Adam?
Mark, we're actually starting to see search crews come back to the Mobile Command Center, wrapping up the efforts for the day. We just checked in with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office to see if they found anything of note in today's efforts. We were told that so far they have not. Now, today's search was very reminiscent of earlier searches that we saw about a month ago when this investigation and the search for Sebastian Rogers began. They were searching many of the same areas that they did initially, and we saw dozens of agencies out here today, everyone from the FBI, TBI, for some of the larger departments and smaller ones as well, including the MTSU PD, Hendersonville PD as well, and the Lebanon Fire and Rescue Team, just to name a few of the more than a dozen.
Wait. It's just what he wants us to do. It's to go back downstairs through his funhouse so we get all tore up.
You gotta call the cops!
He's not calling it. From a tree house? Come on.
Window?
Yeah.
Not going out the window?
Why, you scared, Marv? Are you afraid? Come on, get out here. Come on. Come on!
Let's go back, Harry.
Shut up.
Oh.
We did didn't expect much today because we saw a Facebook post earlier from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office announcing today's renewed efforts, where they said that they had no evidence or leads to indicate that they would find anything with this recanvassing. And we are now learning, as I said, that they have not. We are told that this was planned for about more than a week now, and that, but actually, Mark, as you mentioned in that presser yesterday, they didn't mention this search effort. What we have continued to hear, though, from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office.
Harry, I've reached the top.
Do want to make sure they leave no stone unturned. Reporting live in Sumner County, Adam Mintzer, News 2.
That was put out from At Night yesterday. They combined clues from Home Alone with the reports showing that, good morning, Brown Eyed. Good morning, everyone. With reports showing that the area that's being currently searched by CP, I believe, has been searched many, many, many times. And then recanvassed, I believe it was March or April. Okay. So that's what that was. What are you thinking about the clues? It is bizarre. Yeah, so kind of like the riddles, but it's movie clips now. And of course, we're not supposed to understand them, but we know they're meant for the people who involved because they understand them. Okay. And I'm just got notification that I saw that Lur Lodge has about a 5-minute update. Yeah, there's something in there. They say snakes. They say snakes. They say interesting, like they're surveillancing in the beginning. And allegedly through the satellite imagery, we've seen possibly they're surveillancing. And they say they're not home. Nobody's there. And the house has been dark. They say snakes. So someone said kind of running around. I'm going to play the 5 minutes. They sent me a timestamp. If you guys don't mind, I'll just go set it up now. I haven't set it up yet. Okay, I will pop over to Lur Lodge, try and set that up. Give me a second, mods, if you don't mind watching the chat. I will be right back. Okay, hold on. It's loading right now. Coming in the driveway. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Okay, let me get the timestamp. Looks like it might be 2 minutes and 44. Okay. Share the screen here. This is full credit to Lur Lodge. Would you drop the link, please, mods, to Lur Lodge? They're saying it's 2 minutes and 44 seconds, or I hope maybe it's 2 hours. I see how long it is, so we'll check it here. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Aiden said, of the jury, right before we went live, because that's kind of how this whole thing's felt recently, Netflix put out quite possibly the worst documentary in history. I'm still working my way through the JonBenet Ramsey case and everything that happened. But I can say for certain that the Netflix documentary is probably one of the most biased and poorly constructed documentary attempts I've ever seen.
Even worse than the MH371 from last year.
The MH371, I feel like the stuff that the MH371 could be accused of ignoring is the kind of thing that you'd have to be I will come back, and anything I thought, what?
One last question, because somebody had asked earlier too. Any updates on Sebastian Rogers?
Not at the moment. There just hasn't really been any movement from what I understand. The FBI is involved to the extent that they have put out a reward for information. I don't know. I feel like the truth about that case is so obvious, and in this circumstance, it's just the police refusing to do their jobs. I mean, that family should never have been allowed to leave town. All of the same mistakes that were made with JonBenet Ramsey were made with the Rogers family, and that is so disheartening to see that nobody learned anything. Yeah, so I do think they're extremely similar cases. They are so similar.
Yeah.
In terms of the parents' behavior. I will say, I mean, the one thing this has done, studying JonBenet Ramsey, is it's made me more confident that Katie could be in on it.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So, I don't know. It's hard to say if anything will ever happen with that case. I have become considerably less confident that Sebastian is still alive. Early on, it was my hope. I thought there was definitely a possibility of that. It's now at the point where I can't see how he could be. You can't hide him this long, this effectively. He need to go to a doctor. He need to, he need to be in school. Like there would be something. He's gonna need clothes, food. Somebody wouldn't know something's off. So, unfortunately, I do think it's very possible that it was a murder, not a kidnapping. Yeah, that one makes me sad because it was very much solvable. I think it's very obvious who's responsible. I think the motive is there. I think that the history is there. In that case, we have a guy who has admitted to abusing his stepson. We have a guy who is on record in the court system as having attempted to kidnap his own daughter using the legal system, who has been sent to conflict resolution and parenting classes, who has been repeatedly denied custody of his daughter in spite of trying over and over, in spite of, going out of his way to make it seem like the mother was unfit. I don't know. I genuinely cannot comprehend how this has not been solved, but unfortunately the FBI can only get involved if it's reported as a kidnapping, and it never has been. It's always just been he ran away. I mean, in my opinion, if he had run away, he would have been found by now. There is totally probable cause to go and call this a kidnapping and ask for the FBI's help.
The question is, why are they not?
Close enough to a state line? Like, I think they're not, because this is a small town in Tennessee. It's not that small. It's like 60,000 people, but this is a rural Tennessee county for the most part. I think it's not insignificant that when I asked I think it was the sheriff's department, does Christopher Proudfoot have any friends at the sheriff's department? And they told me he's not friends with the sheriff. That's not what I asked. I think that's significant, because I very clearly said, does Christopher Proudfoot have connections or friends at the sheriff's department? And what I was told, Christopher Proudfoot is not friends with the sheriff. And then it's really interesting. The sheriff dies in an accident a couple months later.
Do you think we're going to be doing an update on this case when the 1-year anniversary of it comes around?
Possibly. If there's enough movement, I think at the very least I will put together a summary version that kind of combines everything in the 3 videos we did into one thing, and then kind of goes from there. But we'll see. I hate how many dead kids I know everything about.
Yeah, it's a real chipper, upbeat channel you guys watch.
Hello, I'm Patrick Stewart. I believe in helping people in crisis.
But we are grateful that you watched nonetheless.
I just wish it was about a different topic.
Yeah.
But hey, this is what I'm good at. So
hopefully all of the research you do and all of the work we do to put these videos out will generate some level of positive change.
That's what I hope.
In one of these things.
I wanted to make history videos. God was like, nope.
So that was hard to listen to, but he's done, if you haven't seen his, I believe it's a 3-part series. It's absolutely wonderful. That's Lur Lodge. He brings up a good point about history and motive. He's kind of changed his theory a little bit. So also brought up, for instance, the history, just conflict resolution, parenting classes, attempt to allegedly kidnap his own daughter. So that was his update. They said they may do another update if there's any movement. And then I wanted to comment, Black Hawk, you said 57 Magnum, you said the rope scene in that video that At Night put out, the Home Alone, could mean that they're hung out to dry. Oh, and hit a wall. Yes, that's good thinking. That makes sense, actually. And someone else had a really good one. Hold on, let me see. I wrote it down. Oh, that those 2 guys are fumbling idiots, maybe representing the two other fumbling idiots who may be involved. Oh, also another thing is that when Lur Lodge, just to jump back there real quick, I looked at my notes. He said when he called the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, he did ask if CP had connections or friendships within Sumner County Sheriff's Office. And their response was, he is not friends with the sheriff. So he said they didn't answer his question. Okay. So interesting, always something new. Let me see if we have any updates before we leave here real quickly. I just wonder what kind of, I don't know, because they address Chris or CP right away, you know, as saying, please return him. So I don't know. Lur Lodge has done a lot of research also. Yes. Okay. Nothing new. Nothing new from Matt Knight. Now don't forget, we're also checking Dog the Bounty Hunter's channel, YouTube channel, because he is going to be giving a update. It said about 7 days, and I think that was a few days ago. So in the next 4 days, right? So in the next 4 days, they'll be doing something. So I don't know. You know, what does Elevated Truth know other than being allegedly told that CP told him his truck was one of the ones there and they were so dumb they didn't know it, and the Wi-Fi pings? What's being pushed behind closed doors? What does he mean by he's very careful to speak on Sebastian? Because and he made sure and he reiterated a few times, what I am discussing, you've agreed with me, is things we've discussed before. And CP agreed. And then he said, I have to be very careful. I understand why there were decisions being made. So what decisions were being made? Where do they think Sebastian is? Where is Sebastian Rogers? Today is 10 months to the day that Sebastian was reported missing out of Hendersonville, Tennessee. There is $250,000 reward. We have many, many agencies working on this. They have satellite imagery. They've detected a digital footprint someone tied to Sebastian. Persons of interest that they had mentioned related by marriage, and one whom was believed to be wanted for child trafficking. Scary. They are watching all the entries into Canada from New York and all the way to Washington. Excuse me. Many states right now, they're focusing on Wisconsin, Oregon, Tennessee, DeSoto County, Mississippi. I believe that's the RV areas around Memphis. Arkansas. So lots of areas that are being looked at, that there have been credible leads. So we are going to see, but Dog will be giving us an update. They said as the search intensifies, he will be keeping us updated. Okay. And oh yeah, you know what? Let me share with you before we get off of here, because Nick the Hat was on last night. So let me go ahead and share that with you as well. Oh, and then Dog has a great video that I love to watch. And it has CP saying something at the end that I think is very important, that they put it in there. And also who they have at the end and the song. And my question to you is, who is the Joker with the cuff? Who do you think? Don't put names, just initials if you want to put it in there. But great theories on the hanging out to dry. Great theory on the fumbling. You know what, idiots? Allegedly. Okay, so we are going to go ahead. Let me play this for you. Oops. Hold on, my phone's going off. Let's see if it's one of my mods. Okay. There we go. Hi, Jen Benners. How are you? Okay. Right there. I'm going to play dogs first since I'm already on X, and then we'll go over to Nick the Hat's video from last night. I thought it was on dogs. Hold on. There it is. Okay. This was put out on December 21st. If you haven't seen it,
I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus, Sumner County. Let me make sure you can see it, and I'll get rid of the echo. If you haven't seen it, this is great. If you have seen it, watch it. I see something new each time I watch it. And thank you all for being here. And after this, we'll go to Nick's channel and watch his video from last night too, his update. Hello, everyone. Hi, the other Sharon, Forrest Pellerin, Ginger Snap, YouTuber. Thank you. Lisa, Salty Ma'am, Regina Romo, Brown Eyed Girl, Jen Benners, hello, hello. Okay, so let's go ahead and listen to this. Sorry, I was reading your amazing comments. Yes, Lur Lodge does great work. Thank you all for your comments. They're excellent. They're catching my attention right now. I'll come back to your, yes, Amber Alert's kidnapping, in my opinion. But who? Statistically, kidnappings usually are familial, meaning it, family member, family friend. Also says could be, a custodial guardian, a romantic partner of a parent. So statistically, familial kidnapping is the most common. Let's go ahead and watch.
The investigators continue searching for leads in the disappearance of 15-year-old Sebastian.
Continues for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers and Sumner.
Our top story this half hour. It's been nearly 1 week since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers went missing over in Sumner.
A shift in the search for Sebastian Rogers as it enters its 8th.
We're on a constant roller coaster ride of helpless and
Enforcement is searching high and low, even in a Kentucky landfill, for clues that can help bring Sebastian Rogers home.
We have been following this story since day one.
It's been 3 weeks and no sign of Sumner County teen Sebastian Rogers.
The TBI is chasing leads in his disappearance, but they have few.
Search is underway in Sumner County. Multiple law enforcement spent the day searching the beach area in Hendersonville for missing teenager Sebastian.
What happened to Sebastian Rogers? And this morning, the search for the missing teen is intense.
Today, since Sebastian Rogers disappeared, that case has gripped Middle Tennessee with little to no clues as to what happened. It's now been 3 months since Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his mother's home in Sumner County. There's still no trace of the missing 15-year-old.
Another question people are asking tonight is like, where's mom? Where's mom? And we're going to talk about that tonight. And a lot of people have been talking about that, but it's It's a difficult position for any parent to be in what has happened here. Now, I can tell you where Dad is. Dad's going to be here. He's going to be here live on this program.
Well, as a more than 3-decade law enforcement official myself in Pennsylvania, a former district attorney and former attorney general, I know what the local authorities must be feeling and the frustration they must be feeling. And I know from my own experience that sometimes you need to rely on people like dog experts that are willing to give their time and energy to come and assist law enforcement in doing their job. And, I'm stunned when I learned about the facts of this case that, the young boy has left the home of his mother and his stepfather, and they don't seem to be particularly broken up about that. I'm sure that is sticking in the minds of a lot of people and want to know what the answer to that.
Listen, I'm going to hunt these people down. I think the boy is still alive. I'm telling you right now, Ashley, I think this little boy was stashed somewhere.
First of all, I don't mean to spin this, but you said a lot of law enforcement and volunteers and all that were out there searching. Let me tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. Chris Proudfoot was threatening all kind of people that they should go home. Why are they there? Because they were asking. So a lot of people, let's say, tried to, help and volunteer, but Proudfoot and his cronies, or maybe by himself, was threatening them, stopping them. I don't know why the TBI hasn't done nothing unless they're neck deep in it too. I talked to one of the guys and, it was ridiculous. We want the FBI, the marshals. We need the FBI. We need the marshals in on this. And let me tell you about them. They will find what happened. They will find Sebastian.
You mentioned the Proudfoots, Chris and Katie Proudfoot. Katie Proudfoot, for those who haven't been following this, is the mother of Sebastian. She was the last person to see him. Chris, the stepfather, and we invited them on tonight. We did get a hold of them. They declined.
And I'm going to tell you something. If you come at me sideways or you come at my family sideways, you can bet your tail that when we bring the proof, it's proof. It's plain and simple.
Well, that's the thing, Chris. No one is
I don't
accusing
throw shade at people. I bring the proof. That's the difference.
about what?
Whatever. If y'all want to come out and say some shit, come out and say it.
Who is said? What are you worried about someone saying?
It doesn't.
I don't know.
That's
I don't
the
know. Hold
problem.
on. I don't know
That's
how
the
much
problem.
you said.
Because you all come out and say different things, and you all have your little riddle ways of putting shit out there.
I think you're confusing us with different people. Never have we done riddles.
Truth out there yesterday or the other day said some stuff about Katie.
Like what, Chris? Open that can.
I don't have the exact quote on me, okay?
Well, if you're going to accuse me on my panel, be willing to back it up.
I am willing to back it up. If I have the exact quote, I would give it to you.
What was it about?
In regards to whether or not Katie was there or her going to the school looking for Sebastian.
You mean my question of why did Katie go to the school? Is it because Sebastian had maybe missed the bus and had walked there at some point? You're upset about that?
The way it was projected made it sound like you're questioning why did she even go to the school in the first place?
That's exactly what I was asking. Why,
because she's a mother who has a son that goes to that school.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I make the statement? This is very simple. This conversation has nothing to do on social media. You want to have this conversation, Seth? You call me, you get Heather, you get Chloe on the phone. Hell, I'll do you one better, and I will get Bobby and Carter on the phone, and we'll all sit down and have this little fucking powwow. And I will get Bobby and Carter on the phone, and we'll all sit down and have this little fucking powwow.
coming for you. I am coming with all my might.
Let me get rid of that so we can. There we go. Okay. Yeah. The fact that he put that in there, well, I'll just go ahead and get that. If you want to have a pow, or you want to go ahead and have a powwow, I've got one better. I'll call Bobby. Yes, Bobby Simmons from TBI. He is the contact for TBI for the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. And Carter is Brandon Carter from Sumner County Sheriff's Office, allegedly. And he is now the lead detective from Sumner County, since Eric Craddock is now sheriff because Sonny Weatherford passed away, the sheriff. So, yes, a fatal paper cut. I agree. I agree with you. A fatal paper cut said CP searching, so they could point and say, look, CP searching while Seth went out of town. The audacity, in my opinion. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, so very interesting that we're going to go to, hi, Queen of Hearts. Hello, everyone. I hate that about Sonny, too. He was beloved, apparently, in the area. Hi, Missy Michelle. I know, Missy Michelle. I feel badly for Seth, too. Yes, Peak. He bragged about his connections. Your 90-pound temper. Brown-eyed girl, you're so funny. Brown-eyed girl said, my 90-pound temper is raging. Where is Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers? Dang it. I know. Happy Boxing Day back to you, Sunset Gazing. Okay, we are going to listen to, I love the closing song too, Passion Flower, Coming for You. And who are they showing? Anger issues much, Remy Stuff says. KP gives me chills, Bad Actor says. Renee, I'm not sure who investigated the sighting in North Carolina. I would assume. But at that time, when was the investigation in North Carolina? We need a date on that. Because it could have been, if it was before Sonny Weatherford passed, the lead detective was Craddock. So I don't know. We'd have to look at the dates. So yeah, I'm coming for you, showing KP, putting out a message to CP yesterday saying, please, it would go a long way. I'm paraphrasing. If you would make sure someone could get him to a store, call 911, the police. I would pray and hope that would occur. First and foremost, Sebastian, right? So I hope that we locate Sebastian very soon, one way, another. Yes, please do subscribe and like. I am this evening, 8:30 Eastern time, going to be doing, last night we did stepchildren who were reported missing, who lived with step-parents, Gannon Stout, who, rest in peace, his stepmother's behind bars for 2 life sentences. Kyron Horman, his stepmother was the last person to see him, and he is still missing 14 years later. And Sebastian also lived with a step parent, and we know that that was a risky situation with CPS visits to the home. So we did that, and tonight we are going to be discussing at 8:30 Eastern Time CPS, kids who went missing who had open CPS cases. And it's shocking, but we need to look at it, right? And we're going to be covering Summer, briefly Summer, because there isn't a lot of information regarding that for Summer. Sebastian, Oakley Carlson, and Harmony Montgomery. So hit that subscribe and notification bell so you do not miss that. We need to do better. Protective Services needs to do better. Protective is in their name. There needs to be more follow through. I agree there needs to be, one of you had said the other day, a national database from agency to agency, state to state, and I agree that could have saved Harmony Montgomery's life. So we are going to discuss, oh, baby Evelyn. Oh, yes, I have covered Evelyn. That disappearance was heartbreaking to me, and how they found her whispering winds, just horrible. Prayer warrior Renee, Oakley's close to you. Yeah, so sad. So we're gonna touch base on that tonight. So hit that subscribe and notification bell. I hope we have some movement very, very, very soon. Okay. Yes, Evelyn Boswell in Sullivan County. Yes. Heartbreaking story. Heartbreaking. And then when the autopsy was released, it was devastating. I just, I agree with you. Yes, thank you all for being here. I agree with you. And Mima, let's just get an arrest out there right now. Let's find Sebastian. Grace upon grace, you live here. You're waiting for her trial. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Chat, it's so sad. It is. It's just so sad. And she's so beautiful. So beautiful, right? We don't talk like that in here. You need to talk respectfully to whomever you're speaking to, Scarlett. So anyway, I want to thank all of you for being here. I will see you tonight. If there's any updates, I might pop in midday, but otherwise I'll see you 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Prayers for Seth, for Sebastian, for all the missing children, for all the families who are looking for a lost one they still have not found. And I want to thank you all for being here, and I will see you tonight. Please give this a thumbs up on your way out. And if you would do me a favor, hit your notification bell so to remind you about tonight's show. It's an important one. We need to do better. CPS has protective in their title. And we thank you, Trishy 818. Thank you, Sandy SST. And there needs to be more protection. And I think it's something we need to discuss. We're going to discuss the kids that I discussed with you, Harmony, Oakley, Summer, Sebastian, and also look at some statistics. So thank you so much for being here. I believe so too, the other Sharon. False, false, false. A lot of false narratives coming out right now. Don't listen to them. People might be getting a little nervous, asking misinformation, spreading it. Keeping on. Thank you, you all. Mods, you've done a great job. Everyone, thank you for being here so early this morning. I will see you 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's bring him home. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Thank you all for being here. Talk soon. See you tonight.